Triple H may have subtly confirmed Roman Reigns will return to the Bloodline saga on WWE SmackDown. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer. Have a nice day. For the WWE family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. Roman Reigns has been absent from WWE since Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker took him out in a brutal attack. Fans have been eagerly waiting for the potential return of the OTC, and it appears his comeback is on the horizon. The latest episode of the Friday Night SmackDown saw Solo Sikoa and his newly assembled Bloodline attacking Jacob Fatu and Jimmy USO in the main event tag team match. Sikoa, alongside his entire heel crew, launched Fatu on the announcer's table with Roman Reigns' signature Shield Bomb. Many see it as a subtle hint by Triple H-led creatives that Roman Reigns would eventually join the Bloodline saga alongside Jacob Fatu and Jimmy USO on Friday Night SmackDown before getting his revenge on Seth Rollins and his heel crew on the red brand. Rollins and Reigns are bound to cross paths once and for all. However, the Visionary is currently engaged in a heated rivalry with CM Punk, and it appears that both could lock horns at SummerSlam 2025. Meanwhile, Reigns, who is rumored to return soon, could be part of the Bloodline saga for a match and could leave immediately after the biggest party of summer, as he is scheduled to film his Hollywood project in August. Moreover, the original tribal chief could then renew his feud with Seth Rollins at the end of the year and could drag it into WrestleMania next year. That said, the angle proposed above is speculative, and nothing has been confirmed. While speaking on the Coach and Bro show, former WWE writer Vince Russo stated that Undisputed Tribal Chief has achieved everything in the industry and has done it all. Now he is up for some higher goals, pointing out that he is building a career outside WWE and Hollywood, following in the footsteps of his cousin, The Rock. Reigns has begun his journey to the next level, as he has already signed on for a major upcoming film, Street Fighter, where he is rumored to play the villainous character of Akuma. I really believe Roman Reigns' future, in my opinion, is way, way beyond wrestling. I believe that on heading to Hollywood without a shadow of a doubt. I think he has every quality and everything that it takes. There is really nothing more he could do in the wrestling business. I think guys like Rock and Austin and Cena, I think they reach that point where it's like, what else am I going to accomplish in wrestling? And I think Roman's accomplished it all. I think it's time for him to go on to bigger and better things, Russo said. With the buzz and excitement surrounding his name, it will be interesting to see when Roman Reigns returns to World Wrestling Entertainment and where he lands on the stacked roster in the Bloodline saga or goes against Seth Rollins and his company. A few days ago, Carl Anderson revealed one of the most memorable backstage scenes with Roman Reigns. As Anderson retells it, one of their fellow superstars started screaming about flight plans during a trip with WWE. Anderson remembers that Reigns was not shy. He approached the person at baggage claim and laid down the law with a very basic, no-nonsense ultimatum. Get it written into your contract or shut up. This anecdote does not only point out the direct personality of Reigns, it brings out the truth that not every WWE performer does so in style. Some names are elite and are flown privately, but others do not have such privileges and deal with normal commercial fares and accommodations. Many athletes pay out of pocket to travel, particularly across time zones and abroad, and that can be a burden even to veteran professionals. Reportedly, Anderson told this story when he appeared in the podcast episode of the podcast called Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw. There, he wrote that Reigns literally said it at baggage claim, indicating that the constant complaining without contractual support was not tolerated. It was not supposed to be evil, Anderson stressed. It was a practical thing. The message by Roman is that flying in style is important. So, get it negotiated officially, rather than moaning on the way there. The followers who have been listening are aware that Reigns has changed to traveling on a private jet as his commitments and health issues have increased. With the regular international events, matches, and WWE Premium Live events, comfort and speed were no longer negotiable. That clause in the contract will enable him to fly out, do the performance, and come back almost immediately. This narrative speaks volumes of how Reigns feels about accountability and professionalism. He does not like to whine in public, and still more so when there are alternatives. His leadership was shown through being so candid. Others who were observing got to know that in case you want special treatment, do not expect it to be free. If you are one of those people who say you don't watch professional wrestling, chances are you are following along every time a trending moment happens in the squared circle. When things go right in a company like the WWE, the entertainment is top-notch, leading folks to crave more. One of the biggest stars currently in the WWE is Roman Reigns. Reigns has been the top of the card on every big show for the last decade. However, the original tribal chief wasn't always a master of the ring. Actually, Liati Joseph Anoa'i once had dreams of being a football star. A clip of Reigns' time with the Georgia Tech football program went viral, again, giving fans a glimpse at the former Yellow Jackets defensive lineman. Reigns spent 2 seasons with the program, 05, 06, where the team would finish 7, 5, and 9-5 in those seasons. The multi-time WWE champion spent his time on the field with one of the greatest ever to play the game, Clavin Johnson, who was also with the team from 2004 to 2006. The WWE is filled with freak athletes, and Reigns is another member of that elite roster. Reigns' cousin, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, also had a pretty famous run in college football, playing for the Miami Hurricanes in the golden age of the program. The wrestling world changed in 2019 when AEW rose as a viable competitor to WWE, the first since WCW closed its doors in 2001. In the years that followed, battle lines were drawn, with fans taking sides on their favorite of the two promotions. Much like during the late 90s wrestling war, it also gave fans the chance to speculate. What would a super show between the two companies look like? What dream matches could be concocted? Just as it was with WCW and WWE in the 90s, it remains highly unlikely, but below are the matches that could set the pro wrestling world alight. Given their shared history, this is a bout that makes itself. The pair haven't shared a ring since the Shield's final chapter in April 2019 and haven't faced off one-on-one since WWE's Survivor Series 2015. Since then, both have become significantly bigger stars, Reigns arguably becoming the biggest name in wrestling, while Moxley has completely reinvented himself, capturing world championships in both AEW and New Japan. Pro Wrestling. Surely a shoo-in for any crossover event between the two companies would be this match. Reaching a certain status in wrestling means getting certain perks in your contract. When Bullet Club was in its early iteration, Carl Anderson says that they weren't making much on the merchandise because it wasn't written into their contracts. Seth Rollins has been nigh unstoppable on Raw since joining forces with Paul Heyman and adding Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to their ranks. The Visionary and his crew have undoubtedly become one of the top factions in WWE. With such backing, Rollins has been feuding with several superstars over the past few months. The Architect has also clashed against anyone standing in his path on the main roster to climb to the pedestal of the men's division. That said, this listicle points at Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and 2 other superstars Mr. Money in the Bank is feuding with right now. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins share an incredible history as rivals ever since the American Nightmare made his massive return to the Stamford-based promotion at WrestleMania 38. The two seemingly couldn't be in the same ring in WWE without having to throw some punches at each other. That said, at WrestleMania 40, the duo decided to sweep their feud under the carpet and work together as a team. They faced Roman Reigns and The Rock in a tag match in the main event of WrestleMania XL Night 1. It didn't stop there. Seth also helped Cody to defeat the OTC the following night to become the undisputed WWE champion. However, their rivalry was rekindled after the Visionary confronted the 40-year-old over his decision to join forces with The Rock on the February 24th episode of Raw. With Seth Rollins currently holding the Money in the Bank briefcase and Cody scheduled to face John Cena at SummerSlam for the title, it will be interesting to see what happens later on between the two. In the coming days, Seth Rollins has been in a rivalry with CM Punk since the latter's return to WWE. Their feud has been going on for years now, and there seems to be no signs of it ending anytime soon. At Night of Champions 2025, Mr. Money in the Bank cost the Second City Saint his title match against John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. Interestingly, the bout was billed as their last match against each other. The following week on Raw, Punk brawled with Seth, and the latter managed to slip away through the crowd. However, while the simmering resentment is still burning within Punk, Triple H could schedule a blockbuster bout for the duo to clash against each other at SummerSlam.LA. Knight started his feud with Seth Rollins and his faction after he was attacked by the heel group on SmackDown. It didn't stop there, as their rivalry continued to intensify week after week. Interestingly, Knight cost both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker the King of the Ring tournament, only to suffer the same fate as them. He finally got his match against Reed and was later written off WWE TV in light of the injuries he sustained after the match, when he was the target of a vicious attack by Breaker and Reed. That said, Knight made his surprise return on the latest episode of Raw and attacked Seth. Later on that night, it was announced that they would face each other in a singles match at Saturday Night Main Event XL on a July 1, 2. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins were once in the same faction called The Shield, alongside Dean Ambrose. However, Seth betrayed the group and joined the Authority, leading to the end of The Shield. That said, the OTC and the Visionary have been rivals since then. At Royal Rumble 2025, Seth Rollins brutally attacked Roman Reigns after they were both eliminated. Weeks later, the OTC returned on Raw and ambushed Seth, returning the favor from the Royal Rumble. Furthermore, in the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania 41, the Visionary shocked the WWE Universe by taking Paul Heyman away from Roman. However, it didn't end there. The following week on the Red Brand, he joined forces with Braun Breaker and attacked Roman Reigns and CM Punk. The much-awaited return of the OTC could intensify their rivalry, leading to a big clash at the first